Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. We are playing tonight Descent into Avernus, and we will give you the full details and recap of where we are at um, in this adventure. But first, as we do, we'd like to tell you a little bit about the channel before we get started. So if you're watching this on the video on demand or in on YouTube later on, you should know that our community really is kind of built around the Twitch channel. So please follow us at twitch.tv/20 sides to every story. So you can get notifications when we go live with all of the different campaigns and shows that we got going on the channel. And Pruno coming in hot with a cheer. Thank you for the cheer, my friend. So yeah, we've got a really strong community, and we're always looking to add a few new folks to come and join us. We're always hanging out in between the broadcasts in Discord, and Pruno's beating me to it. He's got the link there if you're watching in the Twitch. In the chat, you can click that link, but you can also find the link to join our Discord server in the About section of the Twitch channel. And hey, Lamont. Oh, I always have a hard time with Twitch names with no like breaks. La Mansion del Dragon. Thank you for the follow. Ha, got it. Um, yeah, so you can join us in the Discord. We're always hanging out in between the shows, talking about tabletop games, board games, video games, all of our different interests, and all the things that are happening on the channel. You can also support the channel if you like what we're doing and you want to give back or support. You can do so in a couple of ways. You can do like what Proto just did and cheer. Cheering us bits will earn you EXP, which you can use to be a part of our fun. Those can be redeemed in our EXP store, where you can buy the player's inspiration and the new. Okay, there's Pruno. He did it. He popped it. The Redeem Award Inspiration. This one going to Lorem. I should highlight there's a new item in the EXP store. You can buy the party a round of inspiration, so you don't have to click it individually like that anymore, because it was driving Kogo insane, I think, the other day. So I added the new item where you can just buy a round. Yeah, you can do things like that. Support us by cheering bits. You can support us if you have a Twitch Prime subscription that isn't being used. You can use it on us, and that will allow you to earn your EXP by watching 2 times as fast. You get access to a few subscriber-specific items there in the EXP store, and probably the best perk of all is when we've got openings in our community campaign game, you'll get an email as long as you allow for notifications to come through, email notifications from Twitch channels that you follow. You'll get an email saying, we need folks, we need some people to join us in one of our community campaign games. So you can check that out. You can also, if you really, really love us, you can support us on the Patreon, and that will give you all the different levels of supporting the Patreon, starting at the $5 mark.
Thanks for the jams, man!
Allow you to be the first to sign up for our community campaign games. And Nuthouse, thank you for the cheer. Everyone's coming in hot with the support. I like that. So that's a little bit about all that. We have a community campaign game on Friday at 7 p.m. and then another one on Sunday at 9 a.m. And this weekend is kind of the big conclusion of the Isle of Dread, which we've been plugging away at for about 5 going on 6 months now. We started that in January, so that'll be fun to see that conclude. I think that's all I got for announcements. Let's get right into talking about where we're at in Descent into Avernus. In our previous episode, we've had our characters have been tearing it up here in Avernus on their Demon Grinder war machine, Infernal war machine that they've been piloting. Most recently, they stopped off at Mahadi's Wandering Emporium, where they were looking to take out one of the infernal warlords that um, was linked up with Black Cloak. Nuthouse, thank you for the subscription. 24 months in
Woo.
a row. 2 years. Wow. Big anniversary. I'll buy you a cake. Don't hold me to that. I probably won't. But yeah, longest running streak. I'm almost positive. Um, so yeah, they went and dealt with one of the warlords that was connected to Black Cloak. Black Cloak had sent the party out there to deal with his ex-wife Fëanor, kind of a fey necromancer that was that he stood to gain quite a bit if he went and did this. He would get all of her soul contracts that she had, and in doing so, he said that he would release the souls of the children of El Terrell, who he was collecting. So the party accomplished that. Along the way, they made a new friend, I guess. Smiler the Defiler is with them. Very a Fae himself, an Eladrin, it would seem. And he is with the party now, despite the fact that Evangeline had shot a javelin in his back. He doesn't seem like he's one necessarily to hold a grudge. Whatever excuse you came up with for why that happened, he accepted it very, very quickly, and so he's just happy. Seems like he really enjoys Brynn. They kind of hit it off when they were at the Emporium and concocted a plan to kind of help blow up Fëanor's vehicle. And so he's with you as you're driving back, heading back to Fort Knucklebone. Your task complete. So I think that's. I don't think I'm leaving out too much from the previous session that's important at this time. So I think we should have our characters introduce themselves. Give us your name, character class, race, and maybe tell us what you're looking forward to back at Fort Knucklebone as you're coming back to Mad Maggie's domain. And let us start off with Aplos this week, being played by Casey.
I am Casey. I'm playing Aplos. He is a elven noble paladin, and I think what he's most looking forward to is kind of the hero's return. He's really all about that hero lifestyle, and they've gone out, they've defeated a warlord, they rescued a friend. He looks fantastic. He's got a new haircut. Just it's all coming up Aplos. So he's ready for that, like, coming back in. She's got like that big gate that opens up, so he's expecting like the madcaps are probably going to have ticker tape or something to throw into the air. I'm sure it'll be great. I, I mean, ticker tape's probably not. They didn't really have tickers back then, but I mean, they had stuff to throw. Confetti tape.
Sounds good. Maybe we'll see something of that. Something like that. Next up, we've got Brynn.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm playing Brynn. She is a halfling warlock. Her patron is Blackcloak, the level 3 fiend that we are returning to Fort Knucklebone. I think what Brynn's most looking forward to on the return is I think she's just ready to keep going. She's on a high from what they just did, defeating a warlord and befriending Smiler, and there's a lot that still needs to be done, and she's ready to get into it.
Sounds good. Next, we've got Evangeline.
All right. Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm playing Evangeline. She is a rogue changeling, which we have just discovered as a party at the last episode. Um, and she, though she looks elven regularly, so most looking forward to, I guess she is going to hold Black Cloak to his promise to free the kids' souls. So making sure that happens. But then honestly, like she's just really interested in seeing Lulu's memories and is excited to see what's going on inside that little elephant brain. So
Sounds good. And then we have Lorem.
Yes, hello. My name's Kit. I play Lorem Goldshoulder, a dwarven glamour bard that's been reskinned as a businessman. Um, I am the employer of all of these fine adventurers you see before you here. Um, and I am most looking forward to getting the chance to sit down and talk about the whole Evangeline situation because, one, that's important and crazy what just happened, and two, there's a lot of business opportunities that could be had with such an ability, and I'm quite excited by them.
All right. So you are making your way as a group across Avernus and back to Fort Knucklebone. As you approach the madcaps atop the watch, the gate. Well, I guess yeah. The madcaps are on top of the gate, and they see you coming, and they recognize you, and the gates open up and allow you to drive right in, beyond the wall of jagged metal and thorn that makes up the perimeter of Fort Knucklebone. This infernal war machine junkyard, essentially. All sorts of, as you come into the courtyard of Mad Maggie's home, you just see the big heaps of spare parts and salvage that her and her minions scour Avernus for. Of course, right in the middle is that mountainous terrain feature that sort of looks like a large hand imprinted on the terrain. And in the little nooks and crannies of that, filth and debris has piled up. There are probably some familiar sights to you as you're coming in. You definitely see BB Beekman is lounging in his hammock, sleeping. Very nearby, the two Kenku who are tinkering, and they become alert as soon as you drive in. Actually, your war machine didn't take too much damage, but they're gonna kind of come over and as you park it, sort of inspect it and do their little routine checkup on it. You also can see Black Cloak and Mad Maggie seem to be at the northern side of the yard. Looks like they're kind of staring at the ground some distance away as you disembark from your war machine. I'll leave it to you to tell me what you'd like to do at this point.
So, do we want to have this discussion now or later?
I mean, I have certain abilities, and
You do.
I don't often find the need to use them. But occasionally, a situation presents itself where it's useful to take on a different persona.
You don't find the ability to take on the form of another person useful?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. It has to be used carefully and sparingly. Otherwise, you can get yourself into a bit of a mess, as I have learned in my younger years.
Oh yes, and she's already rather amazing.
Under normal circumstances, I would be concerned about who you are. But considering we're in hell, I have little to no choice, and we've spent enough time together that I assume you're a decent person. My only question at this moment is, who are you wearing?
Right now, this?
Yes.
I mean, it's Evangeline. So it's not any person that I met outside, or this is a persona, right?
Oh.
So I am Evangeline.
Hey, and then you see Smiler is just like confused. He's like, I thought you all like knew each other. Are you like meeting for the first time?
It's, you know what it is, Smiler. It's like when you're friends with someone from school for quite a while, but you leave school and then you meet up with them again and you find out that they're almost a completely different person. It's a bit like that.
Yeah, right on.
Look, I have lived a long time and experienced different ways of life. And I have found that the way that I present myself impacts how people interact with me. And that Evangeline is particularly well suited for certain environments. This probably not necessarily being one of them, right? But since this is how you know me, this is what you get. Or have gotten in the past, I guess.
So, are there more outfits? Is that the right term? Are there other people you regularly inhabit outside Evangeline?
Not regularly. Look, I would say, let's think of it as a relationship, right? I consider myself to be mostly like a serial monogamist. Okay? There are personas that serve you for a time, you stay with them, and then maybe it's not working out so well, so you move on to a different persona. And that's why I don't particularly like doing switcheroos in the middle of it. It feels a bit dishonest and, well, icky. But as I said, if there's a situation where it is required to get out of a jam, well then, as long as I've seen someone, I can be anyone, if that's what you're curious about. But I can also just create from my mind.
Oh, that's an important detail. I like that one. I like that one. Honestly, I'm on board here because, frankly, this whole thing serves our survival rates a little bit better than not. So, happy to have such a talented individual on the team. I mean, here at Gold Shoulder Consulting and Concern, we're all about diversity.
Oh, I appreciate that. Some people have been less open-minded in the past when this was revealed. So
Well, some people aren't in hell currently, so
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But here we are together as a team. And look, nothing changes. Who I am, what I look like, doesn't change who I am, right? Who I am is who you've interacted with, the decisions I've made. That's me.
I believe it. You're the you two, and I point to Evangeline and Aplos, are the most morally northward people in this group. So
Thanks.
that says something.
And like as you're saying that, Aplos is like hunkered down with his hell hand, like, who's a good little hellhound? Who's a good little hellhound?
As you're all talking about Evangeline and what her origins might be. You see the little small celestial creature, the Hollyphant, Lulu, is kind of darting around mid-air. Seems like there is a that Freddy the Falcon, that nasty, inky, oily bird that looks like some kind of roadkill brought back to life, is diving and kind of chasing Lulu, who's like kind of fretting and like sweating and like oh god, and she's just diving and like trying to avoid it, and it flies over and like grips a hold of Brynn's shoulder, opposite of Imsum. And she says, "Oh, Brynn, it's terrible. This thing has been harassing me the entire time you've been gone."
What? Where? Get over here.
And we got a woo. Oh, pay the toll. He can't allow this 24 months to stand. 2 years. Both our 24-month original subscribers are here. Thank you for the subscription. That's awesome. But yeah, Freddy kind of dives again and like is just like, I don't know, a few feet away from you and like takes perch on a bit of scrap metal and is just leering. Gives a couple of squawks in your direction. And Lulu is just like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here."
Yeah, we are too. We got some good news. Is Black Cloak around?
Yeah, I think they are. And then Lulu kind of points over to with her trunk to the northern side of the junkyard where you see Black Cloak and Mad Maggie in some kind of discussion. She says, "I think they're getting ready to help for you to go into my memories so we can find a way to help Zariel."
Great. We're all excited for that.
Oh, yes.
Just a moment. And Bryn's going to start walking over to Black Cloak and Mad Maggie. Start shouting, "Hey, Black Cloak! We did the thing. Now, give us the kids."
He has a big grin on his face. He's like, I knew you could do it, Brynn. Oh, I am so pleased."
Yeah. Well, we had a deal, right? So,
We did have a deal indeed, and I'm not one. Of course, you can trust my word 100%. Evangeline, you still got that piece of parchment I gave you some time ago.
I do. I'll pull it out.
And he just kind of like shrugs. He's like, "I don't know exactly how I can prove it to you that I've released all these souls, but you mortal folk always like to see things in print. I feel like that is the best token that I can share with you of my assurances." And he just kind of like he's just like flicking his pointer finger around like some kind of conductor or something, and you can see like ink is adding itself to your parchment, and it is just a document that basically says, "I, Black Cloak, hereby declare, I'm going to release the souls as promised of the children of Elturel." It's all pretty direct in what it says, and you can see his signature signs off at the bottom. And suddenly there is like an odor of freshly baked cookies that kind of drifts by your nostrils just for a moment and then like fades away. And he says, "Well, I guess our business is concluded then."
Oh, this business, yes.
"Oh, are we in for some more business? I am all ears."
Well, I'm just, we're about to learn some things, hopefully. And once we know a little bit more about what happened with Lulu, I'm assuming that we'll have a better idea of what direction we need to go in, and you might play a part in that.
I like, don't count out old Black Cloak. I think with all these souls that I just got from y'all, I might be moving my way up to level 4.
Oh. Impressive.
You can see Mad Maggie is just like kind of impatiently waiting for this to wrap up, and she goes, "Yeah, quit hamming it up there, Black Cloak. I got business with these folks. I'm very interested in finding out what you all are gonna learn in Little Miss Lulu's mind. I've been hard at work here conducting what I think will be the way to recall some of those lost memories." And she gestures behind her, and you can see this kind of ritualistic circle that has to be detailed into the earth by some kind of obscene mixture that seems like it is likely dried blood or something like that. So it's weird kind of infernal uh, pattern on the ground. But resting right in the center, resting at like a couple of the different points of this like pentagram kind of thing, you can see there's a couple of skulls placed at like the points with black wax candles on tops of their skulls. And in the very center of this circle is a bunch of plush pillows that are resting there. And Mad Maggie is gesturing, "Lulu, dear, it is time for you to come on over here. Take yourself a rest there in the middle of those cushions there, if you don't mind." And Lulu,
This won't hurt Lulu, will it?
"Oh no, she'll be fine.
All right.
Frankly, I'm more worried about you all than Lulu."
Um, pray tell why?
Well,
Is
if
this
you're gonna
dangerous for us?
well, it could be. We don't know exactly what Lulu has been privy to. If you're to go in there and experience things as they were, you're going to experience them as they are for you. If you have to feel this, you have to experience exactly what it was that Lulu saw, and it could be that those memories come to life. We have to be prepared for that possibility.
So, so is that if we die in the memories, do we die in hell?
I'd be prepared for that possibility.
Great. How many times have you done this?
Well, I've never
Good
done
question, Brynn.
this before.
What about the similar magic?
Well, I don't know if you knew this. I'm a hag, and so I'm quite used to myself being in the dream world and doing my business. But you all aren't accustomed to such an experience, so.
Oh no, I actually only started sleeping just a few weeks ago, and it was rather violent.
They can be. They can be. I know you've had a long journey. You've been busy dealing with his nonsense over there. Maybe if you need to take a moment, it may seem kind of counterproductive to sleep and rest before going into a dream, but I think in this circumstance it might be wise.
I feel fine. What about you all?
I mean, I'm okay, but I am rather concerned by those warnings. Is there anything else you could tell us about how we might best survive in the dream world?
Well, I will be there with you in spirit. I'll be helping to direct you.
Okay.
So, as long as we can maintain the connection between us, I can help to provide guidance as you're exploring, as you're experiencing. You let me know what you're seeing.
Right? And say something comes at me and wants to slash at me or bite me or something like that. If I hit back, will that work? Will it can I hurt things in the dream world, or is
I
it one
suspect
way?
if Lulu's memories are accepting you imprinted in there, you will be able to affect them just as if you had been there in the moment.
Okay.
Well, if you're feeling like you're all set, please gather around the circle, and we will begin the ritual. And as you start to line up there, you can see Lulu is just kind of, she's set herself into the pillows and is kind of shivering a bit, worried about what is about to take place. And Mad Maggie just says, "Shh, Lulu, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Mad Maggie wouldn't let anything bad happen to you. You're too precious. You're too important to learning the secrets of Zariel."
Um, though, Lulu, I do want to apologize, but I do have every intention of bringing a nightmare into your dreams.
Eyes get real big. Mad
Lulu.
Maggie's just laughing.
Lulu. He means the dog.
Well, I mean, he's been tinkering away, casting his little spell, and nightmare becomes nightmare. I just, we're heading into, I think, a dream of a battle. And Stevia, well, very faithful as a hound, little hard to ride, and I do have this lance.
That's a fair point.
The lance didn't work out for you so well last time. I thought we were going to stick with the flail.
I didn't find a good flail that I could afford yet.
Oh, well, I suppose our shopping was rudely interrupted.
It was a bit. There was a very mean-looking flail, but we'll go back and visit. As long as certain rumors don't reach our good friend. Well, I've never actually burned a bridge before. I suppose that's what that means.
Yes.
Hard to not burn bridges in hell. Everything's on fire.
It's fair.
True.
Well, before we dive into this, I just want to wish you all good luck. And I will use my mantle of inspiration, and everybody gets 8 temporary hit points on top of what they already have.
Hey.
Mad Maggie says, "Very inspiring speech, Laurel. Anything else that y'all need to do before we get this party started?" All right. And then she says, gather around, and she starts to speak in this infernal speech, some kind of an incantation. And as she's going about, you can see the eye sockets of those skulls kind of start to light up, and almost within mere seconds, there is just a brilliant flash of light, like a flash bomb had just gone off, and all you see is white. Then you have the sensation of like coming out of that as your vision just kind of gradually is returning to you. You're no longer in Fort Knucklebone, but you can see what looks like a green pasture, warm sunny light filtering down from above, hundreds of dancing rainbows all about you. It's warm here. Not that insufferable heat from the hells, but like a comfort. A brilliant radiance that reminds you of like a warm summer day from your childhood, perhaps. Fills you with happiness. And you can see Lulu is flying around this lush green meadow. And with her is a beautiful blindfolded angel. The two of them are strolling through this tall grass. And That is what you see.
Oh, I was rather hoping we would go further back in Lulu's memories. I've never been to any of the celestial planes.
Is that where we are?
I think
Well-
it's all rainbows.
Seems like it.
As you're kind of trying to figure this out, you hear Mad Maggie's voice, kind of almost like some kind of like the principal is talking over the loudspeaker and is just like coming in. Push through this vision. It only represents what Lulu wishes was true. We need to see. This is irrelevant. Move past it.
Oh.
Great. How do we do that?
Well, we be rude, and I just start walking up to the two of them strolling.
Oh, angels, rather dangerous, actually. Mr. Oh.
They're like walking. It's like they don't see you.
Oh.
Maybe we just need to like run really fast and jump through something.
Focus your minds. You can push through this. Just try to focus your energy on moving through.
All right. Let's
Okay.
focus, everyone.
Focusing on moving.
I'm gonna pause for a second and just really think about it and attempt to move forward as if I'm pushing through a curtain.
Give me a intelligence saving throw.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh wait. I have inspiration. I want to use that. We'll do that again. Much better.
So you focus and you kind of create and think about what this sensation would look like. And for the rest of you see Lorem just kind of like reaching out and suddenly just kind of like through some kind of invisible seam that you can't see, seems to slide out of the scene and disappears.
Oh. All right.
Hey.
So I'm going to try to focus too. Through.
You can give me the same saving throw.
All
Intelligence.
right. Intelligence. All right. Hey!
So you just kind of step forward and kind of plane step through this memory and you vanish as well.
Okay, just take a step then. And I'm gonna try the same thing.
All right. Intelligence saving throw.
And not good.
And you also manage to kind of, you're maybe looking a little bit more unsteady maybe or unsure of yourself, but you manage to do just as they do and kind of stumble forward and disappear, leaving Aplos in the field.
So Aplos is like looking around trying to soak it all in, and he's trying to lock in as many details as he can. He's like, oh, I see. So Lulu would like that and that. Oh, I must remind her of that. That's actually rather. And he's sort of like half looking as he like paws at the space in the air where they tried to pass through, and he probably just
Should have been paying more attention.
You can just see as you're like trying, like butterflies, the little cutesy things that are here, representing Lulu's happy place, kind of collect around you and like are touching down on your shoulders. One like boops you on the nose. You're just covered in these colorful monarchs and.
oh
Aplos
yes.
would get stuck in the happy place.
But I really must. I just and he like takes the butterfly and like blows it away. I need to get the real Lulu here. So I really do. And he just kind of keeps pawing at the air.
All right, give it another shot. And with that, you feel yourself kind of slipping away, But then there's like something like tugging at your ankle, and you look back and you see it's Lulu, and she's just looking up and she says, "Aplos, stay here, don't go."
Oh, no, I'm actually planning on coming back with you, which, I, I just, I, a few things,
And this moment of hesitation as you're looking down, all of those like butterflies kind of drift almost like a flock into the background, and then they kind of circle around and are coming towards you, but now each of them is kind of growing and turning into this kind of a large like hornet like creature, and they're all like flying at you, stingers out at the ready, and they all come plunging these stingers into your chest,
Oh no.
and you end up taking 9 points of psychic damage as you are then kind of like pushed through the void and go flying in to this next scene with the rest of your companions as Lulu is kind of crying out, "No!" And her voice gets real far away as your eyes adjust to a scene that is in direct contrast to the one that you just went through. A flame-encircled battlefield appears on a barren hellscape. At the center of the circle, you see, once again, Lulu, this time in her larger form, that of the giant war mammoth, and she is with an incredibly wounded Zariel, who has her sword in hand and is fending off an incredible onslaught of devils that surround her. And as you're coming into this scene, the golden furred mastodon is Lulu is using her tusks to kind of like knock prone many of these spined devils, and Zariel following it up with her sword to fell the infernal creatures. You can see Zariel's sword is fashioned of this celestial steel that gives off this angelic blue glow. It seems to cut through the devils with ease, and her wings are twisted and wounded, bloodied, her face scarred and bruised. You get the impression that she has been here fighting for an incredible amount of time, and even despite her brilliant, radiant beauty, there is kind of that look of inevitable defeat that you see in her. But she looks at you all, and there's like an encouraging look that comes over her face as she sees you, and she says, "Warriors, friends, you have come in my most desperate hour. My warriors have turned and fled in cowardice. I am here but alone. Please, let us take up arms and fight off these devils together." And as she is saying that, you can see that a number of these spined devils are coming your way, just as a pit fiend with a blade wreathed in flame is approaching, and Zariel turns to do battle with that hulking beast, and she says, "You fend off the devils, I'll deal with him." And at this moment, we will roll initiative.
Ooh.
Ooh, well,
It's getting
I was afraid
real.
we were going to switch places and we had to deal with the fiend.
Aplos is still like a little staggered and he's got a really huge pouty lip going on, or he's reacting to the wasp venom. Could go either way.
Yeah, what took you so long?
I just I was daydreaming.
Okay.
It
That's
stung a
on
bit.
brand. Also on brand.
So you've got a total of 6 spined devils, a creature that you are very familiar with from your past battles in in El Terrell. But let's see if I can. Trying to pull up a image of it real quick for you all. I guess while I'm looking this up, just so you're aware, Smiler is not with you in this experience. So there is.
Oh, that's a lot of them.
Sort of probably blown Smiler's mind to this situation.
Yeah, there are 6 of them in total coming your way, and we're gonna theater of the mind all of this. Well, they're kind of like their formation is basically they're surrounding you, and these are the 6 that are coming out of the pack. There's skirmishes kind of happening with the remaining Hell Riders that didn't turn tail. So there's just like this incredible scene of all these different little pockets of battle happening all around you. But it seems like every time a Hell Rider goes down, there's like 3 to 4 more that Spine Devils and other combatants that are entering, creating this kind of sense of inevitable defeat. And it will start initiative with Brynn.
Okay. Brynn's gonna fire off some Eldritch Blasts. First one.
First one hits. Ooh, 13 points of damage.
Second shot. Nope.
Second one will miss.
I
right.
assume there's really nowhere for us to go.
Not really. If you flee too far from the scene, you're just going to get picked up by another wave of combatants.
Sure.
So you've got some room to like kind of maneuver around this battlefield.
Is there any rubble or something I can hide behind or get some cover?
Yeah, we'll say there's kind of a patch where you'll be able to get like a +2 to your AC by ducking behind there.
All right, yeah. I'll head over there and end my turn.
So that Spine Devil that you just dealt damage to comes flying over towards you and is going to make it's going to attack you with its the spines. It kind of turns its back and like these porcupine like barbs come shooting out towards you. Fortunately, the cover blocks the first barrage, but then there is a second one. There's a 17 hit. And you'll take a total of 9 points of damage.
Oof.
This next one here goes towards Aplos and is going to engage in a bit of melee. It's going to attack with its bite. Lunges at Aplos. But a 16 will miss. And then as it lunges at you with the bite, missing, it then tries to hit you with the large 3-pointed trident in its hands. But a 20 will miss.
Wow.
Anything from Imsum?
No, I think Imsum's gonna stick with Brynn.
All right. Another spined devil. This one also comes over by Aplos. Same type of deal. Tries with the bite. Tries with the fork. And so Aplos is just like deflecting. I think you got a shield that you're like using to kind of deflect all this nonsense that's coming at you.
He's got the shield coming in, and they're too close for the lance. He's looking really pissed about it.
This next one is going to fly over towards Laurel, and it's going to use its tail spines just like it did at Brynn. And a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Deals total of 9 points. second one is a 22.
Ooh.
That one doesn't hit though.
And that one's 5 points of damage, and then it turns to Lorum's turn.
All right. Well, ow. I don't like that. So I am going to. Okay, I gotta remember. I am going to cast. I'm assuming all of these we're in a tight cluster, sort of in this battle.
Yeah,
20-foot cube.
Like how many of these things? I'll say you can get like 3 of them. They're not
Okay.
like cubed up. They're kind of surrounding the group. But I'll say you can
Okay.
get like the one that just attacked you and like the 2 over by Aplos that have moved in.
Okay. So that's this one, and that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will cast Fairy Fire here.
So many dice.
Ooh.
It looks like
I got more than I was supposed to.
Let's see. I think you were going for 4, 1, and 6. So 4 succeeded, 6 failed, and
So 6 is the only one that failed.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. So
So 6 is now glowing bright green, and everybody has advantage against number 6.
Hey.
Woo.
And as a bonus action, I will go ahead and give inspiration to Evangeline.
Thank you, dear.
All right, and that's my turn.
cool. I'm just gonna do something real quick. I want to see if this fairy fire effect works. Yep. Okay. Cool. That should be automatically in there. All right. Spined Devil 2 is going to attack. Oh, saw that bit of magic happen and is going after Lorum. Tailspine. Miss. And a 21 to hit.
Oof.
Oh no! And it breaks the concentration.
Oh.
The Lorum is just a like pincushion right now, getting hit with all these spines.
Oh.
Evangeline.
Ow.
Oh, well, that was just horrific. I'm going to still go after number 6 because even though he's not glowing anymore, he was just a big glowing, target. So it seems the one to go after. I'm just gonna roll into the chat though.
That'll hit.
All right. And I say go after, I mean hit with my crossbow. So
9 points of damage.
all right. And I will also tell Aplos to hit them real hard, Aplos, as my help action. And that is it.
All right. Then the last spine devil here is going to go after Aplos. Aplos already has the 2 spine devils kind of in melee. This one's going to just fly up above and try to shoot down some of its barbs. But a 17 will miss and a 14 will miss. And so Aplos is like throwing the shield up a couple of times. Very good situational awareness. As it becomes Aplos' turn.
Oh yes, hit them. Ah! And so he'd just stab the lance into the ground, leave that, draw the longsword, and then try and swing. And Spine Devil Dream. Oh, I was reading the wrong one. 6. Okay, yep. So first attack with advantage from the nice lady who gives me advantage. That is a hit.
Nice.
And that is damage. And then he gets a second attack. And that's probably a miss. And then they are currently on the ground or up in the air. Can Stevia hoof them?
Yeah, all of them except that number 3 that's
Okay.
up in the air.
So Stevia will give the try on the hooves.
That'll hit.
Ooh, good job, Stevia.
That one is not looking too good. The hooves kind of sear its brand into the chest of this one that she struck.
So, yes, good. And good luck, everyone.
And Pay the Toll has redeemed. Award a natural 20 on a death saving throw. I don't know if that means he's thinking about other things or if he's just being nice. So,
Ideas.
yeah.
Suspect.
Brynn, it is your turn.
All right, gotta keep going for the one that tried to attack me. Yeah. And yeah.
Ooh,
Bam!
makes up for it.
Woo!
And that one goes flying back. Big cavity in its chest from the force damage. And it goes down.
Nice.
Right. That's my turn.
Spine Devil number 4 is over by Aplos and is in melee, so it continues to attack. 20 misses. Impsum. Anything?
No, Imsum's gonna just chill. He does not want
Sounds
to
good.
this.
Yeah. It'd be like devil on devil violence. We can't have that.
No, not in this game.
Spine Devil number 1. I believe this one was over by Aplos as well. $21 with
that
the
does
bite.
it.
For the big 2 damage. And then the fork. 16 will miss. Spine Devil number 6 is near Lorem. Is using the more of its tail spines.
Great.
22.
Ah. Yeah.
8 points.
You know, at least they're consistent. I can admire that.
Did Laurel like upset Lulu on a subconscious level? That
I don't remember. There was something that Lulu? No, maybe I'm thinking of Rhea. Rhea.
Oh, I definitely pissed Ray off.
Yeah, I think Lulu likes everybody.
well, apparently not, because
Laurel, it is your turn.
Ow. I'm assuming this thing's right in my face, yeah?
They're not right in your face. They're maybe like 15 feet away. They're shooting you with like these spines from their back. So you could maneuver and move around a bit if you wanted.
I am going to. Is this number 6? I have a beef with number 6. Is he next to any of the other spine devils?
Number 6 and number 2 would be. Those are the two that
All
have your attention. So.
Okay, I am going to cast Shatter on them.
All right.
Oh,
one
you got
fail,
one.
one
And
success.
I got 6. That's all I care about. All right.
Nice.
And number 6, the shatter spell makes him go flying backwards, and the earth kind of like plummets in on the crater that opens up, and it's
Good
pinned
riddance. Yeah, that will be my turn because I don't think I can cast another spell as a bonus action. Can I? I can never remember that.
No, typically not.
Yeah,
if you
it's
use
only...
if you use like a bonus action spell, you can follow it up with like a cantrip.
Yeah, it has to be a
Often.
cantrip. Okay, yeah, so that will be my turn then.
Cool. Spine Devil number 2 here was hit by your spell, Lorem, and you see it drop the fork, and it kind of like it's like putting its hands up in a gesture of surrender. Evangeline.
Oh. So you surrender? This is an option. They surrender? All right. We'll take your surrender.
You're looking around. You notice the other two or the other ones are kind of putting up a similar gestures of realizing your strength in battle, and it seems that they are giving themselves up, dropping their weapons and putting their.
Oh, well, all right. We need to take them prisoner to interrogate them, and so I'm gonna go up and have like some rope or something. I'm gonna make a thing to like tie his arms behind his back and see if he'll allow that.
It's not. It doesn't seem to be putting up a struggle.
All right. Well, got him all tied up, and I'll say, I guess we wait for Suriel to finish up with her guy, or.
And in the background, you can see that she is in an epic battle with this pit fiend. They're parrying each other's blows. It seems that each one has an answer for whatever attack that the other has come up with. And out of the corner of her eye, and Lulu, as in her mastodon form, is kind of just plowing through the fields of these lesser fiends. But Zariel, out of the corner of her eye, notices what you're doing, and she says, "No! Don't take any prisoners! They must be defeated! They are an enemy! They are wicked! They will try to betray you!"
Okay.
And then she becomes too busy with the battle that she is dealing with to respond much more.
Are we still in turn order here?
Are we still in initiative, or can we, or is this?
I'll keep you in initiative here just to see what y'all do. Aplos.
But we must accept an honorable surrender. That's like page 2 of the booklet. And he's like looking at the spot. He's like, I can't read devil faces. Is that an honorable face?
And it's just like toothy grin.
Like, and he'll like, oh, and he casts Zone of Truth.
Okay.
And he's like, now, do you surrender?
They. Let's see. Yes, they have telepathy, so you hear it in your head say, "We surrender. We are not demons. We are an honorable lot. We know when we are bested."
Well, and he'll be like, that is his turn. Yeah, no, they're telling the truth. This is an honorable surrender. I don't carry manacles.
You have rope? I got rope.
We do have rope.
Zariel just is calling out Brynn. I guess she doesn't know your name, but she says you, and you get the sense that she's like gesturing or calling out to you, Brynn, as she says, you had that brilliant, those brilliant abilities. Blast these things away. Victory is at hand.
You heard the boss lady. We don't make deals with devils.
You deserve that, Brynn.
And you would have. So that'll be your first attack, because I was about to say you'd have advantage. So
Oh.
Oh my god.
you give it another shot with your second one.
All right, second attack.
Come on, please, thematic.
There we go.
Oh!
Oh,
So I
no.
started blasting.
The light of Zariel compels you.
Oh my god.
oh, that's a lot of damage.
So this one gets like kind of slammed upside the head with the force damage of the Eldritch Blast, and almost immediately returns fire on you, Brynn. But first attack misses. Second attack is a nat 1. It's very sloppy counteroffensive. Wasn't expecting that. Seemed like surrender was being accepted. The other one over here, this one was dealing with Aplos and continues fighting, resumes fighting just with its bite, which misses. Just have to see bite. Yeah, so that's all he can do. Lorem, it is your turn.
I just look at Brynn and go, why did you do that? I was going to convince them to unionize against the pit demon. And then I just start.
What kind of manager are you?
Well, it would be a bit
This is
boss.
This is corporate takeover. That's what this is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to. What was the one that was really badly injured? I'm going to look at the one
That's
that
two.
was.
I
The-
think 2's the one that's
the one
injured
that-
and tied up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the one that Brynn just hit with the Eldritch
Yeah,
Blast.
I want to hit
pretty
the one
bad
that Brynn attacked. And go, come on! What was that? Poor performance.
And
And nothing happens because that spell never works for me.
No, it fell.
well, if it
Well,
failed,
Oh, it
failed.
failed.
Yeah.
I always read those wrong. I was like, success, it worked. No, that's not how that works.
No.
All right. So then I will go ahead and I insult it to
Viciously
death.
Mocked it to death.
Yep.
Indeed, double whammy, teamwork from both Brynn and Lorem, and you just
We
hear Zariel call out across the battlefield, "Brilliant! More of that! They're almost done. Well
I like-
done."
I like to think the what I said was after that poor performance, I'm afraid we're just gonna have to let you go.
All right. Anything else from Laurel?
Yes, because that was a cantrip. I'm going to cast healing word at a 3rd level because I hurt bad, real bad.
All right. Feeling a little bit better after
Yes.
getting some healing goodness.
And that's my turn.
Let's see. Spine Devil 2 is going to resume its attacks on...
That's the one that I tied up with rope.
That's right. This one, he's tied up with the rope, but he's still got access to his spines, and so those are going to come shooting at you, Evangeline. First attack misses. Second attack is a 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And that'll be 5 points of psychic. Evangeline, it is your turn.
This is just madness. And I'm going to take a shot, but I'm very disturbed by all of this. So I'm going to use my bardic inspiration. Was that a D8 right now?
D8.
D8. Okay. Bloop. Well.
With modifiers?
Oh yeah, the modifiers should be plus 6.
So that'll hit.
Okay. Forgot about that.
8 points.
And I'm going to tell Aplos that this isn't real Aplos, and they are already long gone. All we are doing is just playing this out. So go ahead and hit them, and let's just be this open. You're not actually being dishonorable. And that's my help for Aplos. To give him a pep talk.
Sounds good. This one is hovering above Aplos, about 20 feet in the air at this point, and is continuing to rain down these spines on Aplos. First attack misses, second one also misses, and then it is Aplos.
So Aplos will target the one that's tied up. He will swing his longsword. He will hit non-lethally if he can, and try and knock him out. With advantage on the first one.
That'll hit. And the blow does 8 points. You can tell he's resistant to the damage,
No,
but
just
he does wound him a bit.
fall down. It's like just
Roll over.
yeah. Stop moving. It'll be fine. I promise. And the second swing.
Also a hit.
2 more.
And that will actually knock him out
Okay.
as he falls, no longer putting up a struggle.
And then like Aplos will be riding across the distance full tilt at the other one that's on the ground, or the other one that's landed. And he'll be like, try to stomp lightly as Stevia tries to hoof the last one on the ground here. Wait, how did I? Oh, on him. Too late. Too late.
Too late.
Yes. I defeated him.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
That's it.
Brynn.
All right. Come on, Aplos. It's just a dream. Even Lulu's doing it.
I feel that's a really bad excuse for things.
Pah.
That's a hit.
Second.
So
Darn.
one blast hits it and knocks it back a bit. But he's still alive. And at this point, you see off in the distance where Zariel is, the flaming blade of the pit fiend, just its claws kind of rip in through Zariel's armor, and you just see like blood kind of like pouring out of her chest, and you can see she's coughing up blood. A very devastating wound that she just took. And then the spined devil over here is right by Aplos and Stevia. He's going to try to bite at Aplos and then follow up with the fork. But no go. Laurel.
I am going to go ahead. I'm still really disappointed that I didn't get the opportunity to try and unionize these devils against their superiors. But I'm going to
Next time.
next time. There's always an opportunity in hell. I'm going to attempt to command number 1.
It fails. What would you like
Okay.
your command to be?
Ooh.
I would like it to go take a dip in the river Styx. So I'm going to tell it to swim.
Your command is swim?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
And that will be... You know what? Yeah, that'll be my turn.
All right. This one here is messing with Evangeline. Tailspines continuing to fly your way.
I thought number 2 had gotten knocked out. Is it not? Which
Oh
one
yeah,
did
yeah.
Apple-
You're right. You're right. This one's unconscious. Sorry.
Yeah.
I left it on there because of
Yeah.
that. It's still alive but not active. Evangeline, it's your turn.
So I'm going to turn my attention over to the fight that's going on with Zuriel. Does she look like she's like seconds from being killed by this thing? Is that kind of the impression that we're getting from this?
Maybe not outwardly killed, but this thing is getting the best of her.
All right.
But
And
you
how
also
far
know as you are looking over there at that thing that it's like way beyond your capabilities as a...
Right. I'm kind of thinking like, can I distract it a second so she gets a good hit off, but without it, calling attention directly to us if there was any play there.
It's also some distance away from you.
I was gonna
Like
say,
it's
how far is this?
probably like 150 feet away.
All right. So, ooh, eyes got all blurry. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of see if this thing actually swims, and I guess I'll ready an action in case it comes out as us. But otherwise, I'm just gonna hang back.
Sounds good. Let's see. This third one is following Aplos in the sky. First attack misses, and second attack also misses. And it is Aplos' turn.
Aplos is fighting the one on the ground while keeping his shield kind of up, and awkward as that may seem, attack number 1 is hit. Attack number 2 is a hit. Stumpy feet.
Hits.
Oh, is a hit.
Ooh, this one's taking a beating, but must be the tough mother
Aplos
of
like
the group.
swing away. He's like, I should have bought that mace. And that'll be that.
Brynn.
All right. Gonna keep going. Miss. Hit.
And that's enough to take this one down. One left.
All right, that's her turn. And I realized she has her ability where she kills something. She gets some temp HP. I don't know if it works in the dream world, but
Do you get more than the temp? Did you have temp hit points already?
I have some temp hit points from Laurel and from her false life. So let's see if it's more than that. Charisma modifier plus my warlock level. So that's 10.
Okay, so that'll
We'll
replace.
just replace it. Yeah.
All right, Lorem.
I will go ahead and let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Spine Devil number 3 and basically just give him a very, very disappointed look. You two, come on. And I'll cast Vicious Mockery. But nothing happens. And since that was a cantrip, I will cast Healing Word on myself again because ow. That is my turn.
Evangeline.
All right. So I guess Spine Devil 3 is still kind of involved in all of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot at it.
That'll hit.
All right. And then I'll just tell Aplos to just knock it out, Aplos. That's help for Aplos. My turn.
You can see the spined devil as you hit it. It turns and starts to fly away from the battle over the heads of the other devils in the background of your fight. And as this is happening, you can see Zariel kind of fall down as she is struck again by the pit fiend. And you can see Lulu seems to notice that and cries out, Zariel! And she transforms and becomes her diminutive self, the small little Hollyphant, and goes flying over to Zariel's side and is kind of weeping near her as the pit fiend, kind of gazing around, almost seems like it hears something that isn't perceptible to you and begins to leave the scene. All around you, in the background where these battles are happening with these other Hell Riders, you can see that they are all losing their fights, and that all seems to kind of fade away out of your perception as well, as the scene kind of transforms and you're surrounded just by the bodies and corpses of all the dead Hell Riders. You're left with a fallen Zariel, the sounds of Lulu weeping in the background. And the landscape fills with thick black smoke, and the smell of death is overpowering and encompasses everything. Then you notice that Zariel, she's handing her sword, it seems, to Lulu. And there is a Hell Rider that is kind of crawling over, and you can see that she is entrusting her sword to this human male. And it seems like he accepts it and somehow summons the courage, summons the energy, and you see Lulu transform back into the mastodon, and he jumps on board, and the two of them gallop out of this scene. As that is happening, you're noticing that the ground, this dusty, barren earth of Avernus, bubbling up from it is this black sludge that is kind of like almost like oil from a crack in from an earthquake or something. Seepage is coming up out of the earth at your ankles and you're at your feet. you can hear Mad Maggie somewhere in the background screaming at you. Don't let that sludge consume you. It represents the decay of this place. You must move quickly. And even as she is saying this, it's like overwhelming. It's flooding up all around you.
All right, let's
Yeah, the
push.
sword went that way. We should go
Yeah,
after the sword.
Yeah, after the sword. So just think sword, sword. That's what I'm doing. Trying to make another opening.
As you're trying to, you do that. You kind of mastered this trick of being able to push through these memories already. But as you're doing so, like this sludge, it's wrapping itself. It's got itself clinging to your legs and even maybe up to your waist and your torso.
Oh no.
You can give me either an athletics check, an acrobatics check, or describe to me some other action that you would like to do to try to escape and evade this ooze.
All right. Trying to think if there's some way that I could possibly make it performancy or sleight of handy and made this very dramatic because those are what I'm good at and not so much with athletics or acrobatics. I guess acrobatics is better. All right, I'll try acrobatics. Not terrible. Oof.
So you're trying. It's almost like quicksand. Like the more you're struggling, it's like pulling you down, and you're falling into the earth. You
All right.
take
Oh.
24 points of psychic damage.
Oh. Ouch. Can I try to persuade Lulu's subconscious to stop hurting me? Like talk to her, channel her somehow, be like, sweetheart, dear, you're hurting us. Like we need to work with
Possibly.
not against us. Okay, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to persuade her subconscious. That's
Okay.
So wait, as you're doing that, can Aplos be like, "Oh, Miss Evangeline," and he'll kind of hop down off his horse and give you like the stirrup and try and get
try
you
to like
up.
pull me. Yes.
So yeah, he'll give up his action if he
Well,
can to assist on one.
Maybe I wasn't making it clear. This is happening to all of you.
This is all of us.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Aplos is trying to not struggle so he can assist Evangeline, like a help action instead of taking his effort.
Okay.
Okay, so like you're forgoing your like attempt to get out of it in an effort to give her some help.
Yeah, to give her help.
Okay, so give me Evangeline. Give me the check again at advantage.
All right. Hold on, I lost my cursor for a second. All right, advantage and hey.
And that seems to work as you get yourself free just as Aplos is falling in deeper and deeper.
Oh, gracious no. So
Sorry, I'm gonna put a pause
Yeah.
on you for a second just so I can get a sense of what's happening with Laurel and Brynn also. So
All right, this may help both of us. Brynn is gonna cast Fly on herself and Laurel.
okay. So I'll have the two of you give me one of the checks at advantage as you begin to fly away.
So acrobatics or athletics.
Yep.
Brynn is not particularly fond of either of those. So
I know the feeling.
I did my work. Your turn, Laurel.
I can fly, but I'm not going to necessarily use that. Am I within arm's reach of Aplos?
Based on where the battle ended, I'm guessing not.
Okay, so and I'm stuck in the sludge. There's no way I can get to Aplos.
Not without making, because this came upon you rather quickly, and so you've got the sludge around you.
I'm going to try and get to Aplos. Is that still going to be my choice?
Yeah, you got Brynn cast the fly spell, so you've got advantage on either either of the checks to try to get unstuck.
We will definitely do acrobatics.
So you do escape the sludge as it's clinging to you as you're shooting upwards, but you break free. It kind of snaps like a rubber band, and you are free.
Okay, if I can, I don't know if that's my whole action, but I want to fly over to Aplos, and I just want to kind of like, I don't want to like put him in a chokehold, but I want to like grab him, and I want to cast Dimension Door. And I'm going to count on, we're in a subconscious, so magic acts a little bit weird here. So instead of picking a spot up to 150 feet away from me, I want to imagine the door going through past this memory. Because I know that happens right in front of wherever I am. So I'm putting the door right there, and we're going to go through it.
Sounds good. So you do that. You fly over to Aplos. You cast your Dimension Door spell, and Evangeline and Brynn, you notice as Lorem and Aplos disappear.
Oh.
Great.
All right. Well, we're both free though, right? Brynn's free too.
Brynn, did you do a check?
No, not yet, but I will now. I will do acrobatics at advantage. Not great. 12.
And Brynn, you are feeling as even though you're like kind of fleeing up, this sludge kind of it moves faster than you and manages to restrain you by your ankles and drags you, pulls you down. And you take 19 points of psychic damage.
Holy.
Really good.
Yay for 10 hit points.
Right?
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Suddenly, there is a hand very close to you, Brynn. A male hand, but very well manicured. And there is a man that is standing over you with a cloak and very well kind of trimmed, well-kept beard, curly horns off of his head. And you just get the sense that you were before royalty, as he says, "Everyone deserves a second chance. Please, take my hand."
Are these tiefling horns or devil horns?
They sort of resemble that of maybe a tiefling, kind of that curved, almost goat-like.
Okay, well at least it's not Black Cloak because
Brynn!
Brynn was like, how many years do I have to give up now?
Eternity!
Evangeline, I think I found some help.
No, Brynn, no! I'm gonna throw you my grappling. I've got a plan. Like, don't do this. I've got.
Don't do what? Oh, it's all good. I think he's here to help us.
No!
For the hand.
And he pulls you up out of the muck and kind of sets you down and dusts you off and smiles, and he says, "I don't mean to be rude, but there's someone else that I need to be attending to."
Oh, just a moment. I got a friend here. Can you help her as well?
Oh, I'm good. I'm out of the muck.
Oh, you're out of them. Oh, you're out of the muck.
I'm out of the muck. I was gonna get you out of the muck.
Then we're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Sucked in. Then we're good.
No, I'm Aplos. helped me.
All right, we're good.
You just see him turn towards Zariel, who herself is being pulled, and this blackness is just enveloping her. And she's undergoing a transformation as he's approaching her. You can just see, like, all of her angelic features are dying away. Her halo becomes a wreath of flame. Her hair is falling out, and she's just seems like crying out in kind of an obstinate rage at this figure until she's finally enveloped by the blackness and seems subdued. And just like he did with you, Brynn, he holds out a hand and lifts her up onto her feet, and her wings are just that crimson red, and her eyes glow an infernal red. She's completely transformed. Um, just a just a corrupted mirror of her former self. And it's at that point when you start to kind of get pulled away out of this memory or this vision until you are seeing what looks like a big hilltop. And you can kind of see Lulu. All of you are seeing this. You're all pulled into the same image once again together. And you can see Lulu and the Hell Rider Yale with the sword of Zariel running up this hill. And you can see it seems like they're running away from something. And you watch as they are being chased by another large demonic form. That of this ginormous hyena-like demon wielding a flail with three spiky heads, just with a whole entourage of demons chasing after them. And then you all are jolted awake, and you're back at Fort Knucklebone, where you can see Lulu resting on those cushions. Her eyes light up. There's almost like a brilliant white light coming from them as she is looking around, and she says, I remember where we took the sword.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Do you know where?
Yes,
Do you know how to
yes,
get there?
I remember. Oh, Zariel, she left me the sword. She left me and Yale the sword. She was worried. She was worried it would fall into the hands of the devils, and that they would be able to corrupt it. That they would be able to enter the planes, the higher planes.
Oh, yes, that would be rather bad. And whereabouts did this take place?
I remember a hill. Yeah, and she closes her eyes, and you can just see she's like trying to work through directions, and then you take a left, and then you go straight for.
Oh, where's that little map that moves around a bit?
I
Ooh,
pull out
yes.
the map and
She goes, oh,
lay it out.
And he's like, oh, and the hill is over, and then he's like starts tracking the hill. I hate this plane.
And let me see. I'm gonna pull up the map. So, for the folks at home, this is the map that they have. It's kind of like a moving, almost like the Harry Potter map that animates and things shift and move about. But she is able. I think it's on the map. Yes, I'm gonna put a arrow kind of where she points out over here.
Hill with a really big spooky tree.
Mhm.
Where are we?
You currently are. I don't know if they actually put that on here.
How could they not have Knucklebone?
very important holding.
Are we right next to the tree?
Not so far off, because Fort Knucklebone was like kind of near the river Styx.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say it's like over here.
All right. So just follow the river.
You left it in a hill? Sword?
Yes, I remember this terrible demon was chasing us, and I remember Yale plunged that sword into a rock, and it created this like shelter, this palace all around us to keep it safe. And I remember I got blown away. I met um Chukka and Clonk. And then where did I go? I remember. Oh, what is that name you guys kept seeing about that Emporium? Maja
Mahadi?
Mahadi. I remember him. I remember that name. He found me.
Mahadi found you.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well, but I remember that name.
Were you first to work at the Emporium?
Maybe. I don't know. Everything after that's a little blurry.
Well,
Hmm.
we know where to go to get the sword, but you did say there was a protective palace around it. Do you happen to remember anything about how to get in?
Oh, I think that could be kind of tricky.
I suspected it might be. It would be a bit of a letdown if it was very simple.
No, I don't remember. Because I wasn't there very long. As soon as Yale plunged the sword into the stone, I remember I got pushed away.
Oh,
Did he as well? Or is it
No,
possible?
I think he stayed with the sword. I
He
wonder
might.
if he's still there.
Anything's possible?
Oof.
He was
But-
very loyal to Zariel, just like me. I'm sure he's still there, maybe protecting it, defending it.
Yeah, come to think of it, that play we watched back at Mahadi's, weren't there three servants of
There
Tyrion?
were.
Yale was one of them, right?
oh yes,
Yes.
it was
Mhm.
Yel, Haruman, and Olanthius.
Yeah, so do those names, Lulu, do they ring a bell?
Yeah. They were all Hell Riders. They were all very loyal to Zariel.
Did we see them in your memories? Yale we saw, but
Um, she says she doesn't specifically remember them, but she says, I'm sure that they were there. That the battle was very chaotic. I'm sure they were all there.
Okay.
Well, so do we pack up the demon grinder and go for a visit?
Well, yes.
I think so. I mean, perhaps we should make some preparations first. I think all of us could probably use a rest before setting out.
Oh yes. I only meant I'm you know, not certain how to assault a holy fortress. I'm more trained for defending them.
Well, maybe that's how we get in. Maybe it will recognize your.
Well, Lulu's
Holiness.
coming with us, right?
Yeah, Lulu, you'll come, right?
Lulu
I'll-
can probably just waltz right through the thing.
Oh yes, maybe Lulu's the key. You know, when I went to the zoo in Baldur's Gate, the zoo keys were shaped quite a bit like Lulu.
Really?
Oh yes. Boy, I hope you guys know what zoo keys are. I just realized how dated that. Never mind.
I was gonna say I don't think I do.
I'm picturing little elephant crackers or something. Now I gotta
So-
Google it.
Yeah. So the Philadelphia Zoo and several other zoos, they would have little boxes, and there'd be a little plastic key that you got with your membership that you'd put in and turn, and then it would talk to you. This was before you were allowed to just make boxes talk. And they were like little elephant-shaped keys where the trunk was the key, and you put it in and turn it, and that was a zoo key. And if you got the membership, you got a zoo key, and you could have things talk. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that sounds amazing, and I feel like I have a vague memory of like animal-shaped keys, which I was kind of thinking of that too. But I don't think they did those at like the Denver Zoo, and I feel a little ripped
Yeah.
off.
I
That
feel
was-
like the Oregon Zoo had them, but they weren't being used anymore.
Aw.
It's from many moons ago. Like they made a resurgence, and even the resurgence was a little while ago. So
Resurgence is like early 90s.
yeah, so I'm referencing something from the way back.
The before times.
But no, I just got this image of taking Lulu and her little trunk and just like doop, 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 doop.
Sure. It could be. So I don't know if I gathered you're looking to maybe rest before you head out.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will check in with Chukka and Clonk regarding the demon grinder because I know we took some damage when we were out and about. How long is it going to take to repair it?
I think
Everything was like pretty superficial. So actually, they feel that they'll have it finished by morning, or by the time you're finished with your rest. They do kind of notify you that it's running a little low on fuel. So to use to keep that engine going like you all are looking for, you may want to pop another soul coin in.
Do we have any?
we do not. But I betcha our good friends. Well, I was going to say Black Cloak, but honestly, I'd rather not deal with him. But maybe Mad Maggie can spot us a little bit if we are for good purpose.
Oh, wait. We have stuff to barter with. We have a whole bunch of food that supposedly doesn't taste like ash.
Oh, you're right.
We have 4 people's worth of 9-course
We
meal
have
in boxes.
takeout. We have takeout.
I'm not entirely sure I understand. Do you wish to trade people's soul for food? Because I feel like we just yelled at Mr. Blackcloak for that.
Stepping away for like 45
This is a
seconds.
soul.
Okay.
But
This
they're
is a
not
s-
children.
This is a
Presumably.
soul that is already in a coin, so it's kind of a done
I-
deal regardless.
I just
We're rescuing them from Mad Maggie so that we can keep them alive to be freed.
That's
yes,
right. They won't be freed without us.
I suppose that's true. But maybe we could well, I suppose if she's willing to sell them for food, that would be fine. I was thinking that perhaps Mad Maggie or Mr. Blackcook, Madam Mad Maggie, Madam
Madam Maggie?
Madam
You sure she
Madam
just
Mad?
like Mad Maggie?
Mad-
Yeah, Mad.
I don't know. I still don't
She
think
doesn't
that's a
seem like-
proper abbreviation.
She
Um,
doesn't seem like the type for titles.
Everyone has a title. But
Oh, Haplos.
as everyone gets a label.
That's more accurate.
I was thinking that maybe they could recommend some other warlords or folks from whom we could recover coins, and then we could save at least half of them. Or
I
other such
don't know if we want to take down a whole nother warlord just
or
to go somewhere.
like that the Braga fellow. Bragadiccio, the boar fellow. He was a bit boorish.
Didn't we already kill him?
Well, yes, but others like him.
Yeah.
Minor
Well,
warlords.
wouldn't we need soul coins to get to the warlord to take them down? That's kind of the problem where
It's
we're
an
at.
infinite loop of soul
Oh,
coin.
I hadn't thought about that.
We
So
we need
if-
fuel in the tank to get anywhere.
If we want a soul coin, but we need a soul coin to get a soul coin, Mr. Lorem, maybe your plan's much better.
So we're
I'm
bartering with our leftovers.
Yes. So
Go ahead.
I was saying I'm gonna gather up our leftovers, which, due to the very nature of Avernus, have been kept very warm and toasty this entire time, and I just kind of approach her as like, Mad Maggie, we have where we need to go next, but we need some gas. We don't have any further soul coins, so we were wondering if we could perchance trade you for one. We have lots of delicious
depends
food
on what
from
food.
from the Infernal Rapture, food that supposedly tastes like food.
Well, that was like a day ago. You want to sell me your day old food?
Well, I mean, it's better than the soot food, right?
Oh, sure, but if I just want to go get a hot meal, I drive on out to Mahadi's myself and get
That's
the whole
true.
package.
This is three meals, 3 soul coins worth of meals.
I'm
for
sorry,
one soul
honey.
coin.
How many meals do you think old man Maggie needs?
Well, I'm just saying you can spread it amongst your employees for a little bit of, like.
I don't think Mickey
I
eats
would.
much.
No, I wouldn't. I can't pamper the boy. Look at him. I don't want to spoil old Mickey.
Oh, I
He's
think
a growing
spoiled
boy,
him
but
well enough.
yeah, you're probably right. No, I'm sorry. I'm just not in the market for your doggy bag there.
That makes sense. Is there anything that we could, any favors, any work you need done?
Well, sure. I could probably, I could have you go out and do some chores for me. Maybe hit a couple of the depots. Yeah, you did kind of a pretty big thing there for Black Cloak. That's a skill set I could use if you want to take out a few more of my enemies.
Oh,
You seem to have a
certainly.
knack for it.
How many X's do you have?
Aplos.
Well, it's not that kind
It's a
of
red black look.
relationship.
Do they all live in Texas? That's the second question.
She says, "Yeah, if you're willing to do some dirty work, I'm sure we could come to an arrangement."
Well, I mean,
Apple's like, I twitch.
so the thing is, Maggie, that I mean, if we were going to do work for you, we would need coins to do the work, right? Like we can't work if we don't have fuel.
Well, you're figuring out the way of Avernus real quick. This is how I loan you out some coins to do the job, and then you do the job and you get some coins to pay off the debt, and it becomes a vicious cycle.
I am starting to understand that Okay, let me level with you. What we're trying to do is something that could potentially completely disrupt the balance of power in Avernus. And obviously, if you're helping us, you could be a bit of beneficiary.
Whoa. Be careful about words like helping you.
I'm sorry. If it is advantageous for you to be seen as helping us, but obviously if it's not, then you can say you never met us and you hate us and put a bounty on us.
Probably what I'd be saying if
I understand
the question ever comes up.
But if it is to your advantage to claim some ownership, obviously we would want to help you in any way we could.
This kind of does raise an important point to me. It sounds like you're going off and you're going to be doing, you're going to be shaking up things here in Avernus and driving around in my vehicle. I don't know about that so much.
Look, okay. We only want to put a city back where it belongs. And
Is that it then?
well, it doesn't belong here, does it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of finders keepers. I mean, it seems like Zariel really wanted the thing, so.
Well, what we were trying to figure out exactly is this eternal war that Zariel's got going on. Who is it benefiting?
Well, I imagine it's benefiting quite a few folk that will be upset dealers that she's got. Frankly, I supply a lot of things over her way, fix up some of her machines. She turns a blind eye to some of the chaos that we got going out here in the wastes.
So what you're saying is you're happy with the status quo.
As far as Zariel is concerned, I think things are a lot better now than they ever were under Bell.
Bell. We heard that name.
Who is Bell?
Well, right now he's Zariel's kind of lieutenant, second in command, but it wasn't always that way. He used to be the ruler of Avernus back before Zariel came, and Asmodeus shook things up.
Is it typical for devils to make, their previous bosses their second in command?
I don't know if I'd say it's common, but it happens.
Brynn is looking at Blackcloak right
now. And Blackcloak is like oblivious in the background with a toothpick, just picking his teeth. Digging out dirt with a knife under his nails, just oblivious. She said, it's not all, stranger things have happened. And in that case with Zariel and Bell, Asmodeus wanted to prove a point. Bell allowed this incursion to happen into our plane. And so he saw an opportunity to gift Zariel as an exchange for her loyalty, a prize, and also a way to punish Bell for his shortcomings.
And this Asmodeus fella, is he got like goat horns, well dressed, air of royalty about him?
Oh, you bet. Oh, why? You read about him in a book.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those figures that stick with you.
I am staring down Brynn, trying to see if she's lying or not.
Oh, and I know exactly what's going on, so I'm looking at Brynn like, shut your fucking mouth about this.
Yeah, you're getting the sense maybe Mad Maggie didn't see all of that. Maybe her attention was on Aplos and Lorem when they shifted.
So, anyways, Maggie, look. I think that we understand now. You are happy with the status quo. You don't want hell shook up.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't care so much. It's just I don't want to be implicated in any shaking up.
No, nonsense. Yeah, I mean, look at you. This fine establishment full of Avernus's greatest scavengers. It's exactly what you do. You'll just pick up all of the pieces that we leave behind and build yourself something nice and shiny.
You got it, Lorem. I will do business with whoever, as long as it benefits me.
Well, that's a fair way of doing business. But I guess our only question to you is, will you do business with us? We continue doing business with us.
Well, now that I got a greater insight into what it is y'all are doing, it would make me feel a lot more comfortable if maybe you you took to foot on this one and not be driving my machine around.
Fair enough.
Okay, I can respect that.
But
Yes, and
if you are still interested in soul coins, we can we could do business that way. I can point you in a direction. Maybe you take out a couple of people that ain't so interested in doing business with.
oh yes, that seems equitable.
We seem to have a streak going on. Who is it? Give us a little bit more information, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, I pull out old Mad Maggie's Rolodex and we can go through the list. But top of mind, who I'm thinking of is, well, there's a warlord. His name is Bitterbreath. Actually, you want to talk about people who want to shake things up? He'd be one of them. He used to work very closely, have a good relationship with Bell, and business ain't been so good for him in the time since. But he does still cause some problems for me, hitting some of my my salvage teams and whatnot. He's a horned devil. He's got a cadre of hobgoblins that work for him.
All right.
So there seems to be a tier system here in Avernus. How does this fellow rank up against Ragadragger and Fenor?
I would say he's right in league with them. We're all kind of hitting the same territory.
Wait, in league with Funor or Ragadragger?
Not so much like in league as in partnership, but like in terms of their perception of power and wealth, about the same.
I see.
Well, we took out the other two surprisingly easy.
Yeah, we just have Evangeline go in looking like Mahadi again, and we're good.
I'm not sure Mahadi carries as much weight with Bitterbreath.
No, but what does carry weight is that wrecking ball.
Oh,
That
but
is
we won't.
fair.
We wouldn't have the wrecking ball for. Bitterbreath.
Well, if
Well,
we're
for
doing
Bitterbreath, we would, right? You would mind us using the wrecking ball for.
brand recognition,
Right.
they'd know that Mad Maggie was the one that took him down.
Mm-hmm.
She says that if you were to go on this, she could front you a soul coin to take the vehicle out that way, and then basically for this, she thinks this is worth 3 soul coins. She could front you 1 and then pay you 2 if you were to complete the task.
That sounds fair. What do you all think?
Oh, yes,
okay.
as long as we can keep the engine running.
Yes.
One
Right.
soul coin got us pretty far before. Where could we find this Bitterbreath? And why is he called Bitterbreath?
She says, probably on account of his molten breath, his flames, he can breathe fire.
Valuable information.
Good detail. Good detail.
I would have thought cold.
Yeah, I mean,
Bitter cold.
fire's not super special. I knew a couple people in the shelter who could do that, but they're all red dragonborn, I guess.
What is Bitterbreath? You said he was a horned devil, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Where might we find him?
He does have he's taken command of one of the old fortresses out in the wastes. that'd probably be a pretty reliable place to find him. Otherwise, you could try to catch him while he's out on salvage run or something like that.
That
Now-
sounds more ideal.
It does. Where's his territory?
She describes to you kind of the area. She tells you, north of here there's a I guess you could call it a bog, kind of a tar pit of sorts, and he resides right along the base of a volcano out that way. That's where his fortress is at.
And he just scavenges kind of around that area.
Yeah, sometimes he goes and does it himself, or he sends his crews out to do it for him. And we're about to we're getting hit with a bunch of woos. Albinosaurus Jones, thanks for gifting all the subs.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how many woos we've got incoming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, wow.
5.
5 woos! Woo!
No, you can come and sub bomb us anytime.
So, have the woos stopped? Are they still?
Oh,
wooing?
woos are we're only mid woo right now.
We're only
we're like,
mid-
Oh, I think 5 more may have just gone through.
Oh my gosh!
Woo!
We'll be here all
Welcome-
night.
Welcome to the Woo Show, everybody.
Yeah!
All sorts of people that are gonna get emails from me, and they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is 20 cents to every story?"
What is this? They want me to play in a game?
D&D. What?
What's Dungeons and Dragons?
Ah, sure, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Oh, kitty kitty.
Yeah, he was chewing on my hand.
Pretty kitty.
Alright.
So,
So you got, she kind of gives you like the rough details about, if you wanted to storm his fortress and try to deal with him that way, or, if you wanted to watch the place and try to catch him while he's out, maybe on a salvage run or something while he's in a vehicle.
I think
Maybe
option
So-
B is probably our better option there.
can we force option B? You said, Maggie, you said that he sometimes goes out on to salvage things by himself. Is there like a degree of what he deems worthy for him versus sending out his minions? Because I have a plan that may work.
She says, well, to be honest with you, he usually sends his hobgoblins out on these runs.
Would another warlord intruding on his territory draw him out personally?
Well, could be. I don't know.
Because we have a changeling who knows what one of his enemies looks like.
Several, I think.
Oh, yes. You could be Parasol Woman, or the Boar, or...
Well, I'm pretty sure word has spread that they're gone by now. I'm saying, Mad Maggie, if you wouldn't mind if we could borrow your likeness and just start driving donuts around this fellow's territory, that'd probably draw him out personally.
Could be. If I was him, though, I'd just stay in tight, just seeing crazy old me driving around. I don't know if that's gonna quite do it. It'll make no sense to come on out.
You said this was an old abandoned fortress. Why was it abandoned?
Oh, we got things like that all over. Some devil lord long time ago deceased. Not uncommon. You'll find these all over Avernus.
I don't know. A fortress against the base of a volcano sounds like a bigger task than I'm willing to do.
Sounds rather of a task.
Oh,
Go
But
ahead.
if we do set up something to draw them out, we would have our choice. If he sends the hobgoblins out, then his base would be less defended. If he himself goes out, then the hobgoblins would be back at home. So whichever option they choose, we can take advantage of.
That is a
That is true.
very good point, Aplos. And I mean, I wouldn't have to be you, Maggie, if there's someone else, some other person he has a beef with, and you have a picture of them, I can.
Well, we do have the damaged Devil Rider that Mr. Smiler enjoys, and it seems that Mr. Smiler may not be popular with everyone. Perhaps if we just drop off the broken Devil Rider, that would be enticing. And it is already broken.
Is it beyond
convincingly.
repair?
I don't think anything is beyond repair here, but it is quite broken.
Yeah, it's pretty beat up. Although it is a simpler repair job probably than if you had mangled your big vehicle. Yeah, Smiler says, yeah, I don't know that Bitter Breath really likes me all that much either. You know, I'm happy to. I'm kind of loving the idea that you guys are all on board with going around killing these warlords. I want to be a part of it. I mean, sign me up.
Smiler, you're good with explosives. What could you offer in this situation?
Well, I don't know if you need my resume or what. Like you say, I'm like really good with explosives. I can make things blow up. I can crash things real good.
How did you get the explosive on Feanor's vehicle?
Well, I got a guy for that. Over at Mahadi's.
Oh, so you had someone go to the vehicle. You all did that very quick. How was that arranged?
Brynn just told me she wanted that thing blown up, and I was like, all right, I owe you one. You saved my life.
Yeah, that is pretty much how it happened. Kind
All
of
right.
disappeared, and then.
Do you have a guy for this fellow's fortress?
Yeah, me. I mean, I'd love to live there if we could smoke this guy out.
Well, perhaps we could do a twofer. We could kill him for.
No, go on, Aplos. I have an idea.
No, I was just saying, if we're doing this work for Miss Mad Maggie, and we do it, we give the I suppose land rights to you, Mr. Smiler, we could earn another few soul coins.
Potentially, but I have an idea of how we could do this. Smiler, you're good with explosives. And Aplos, you mentioned that Devil Rider.
Oh, yes.
What if we leave out some choice scrap for them, but rig it with explosives so it goes off as soon as they take hold of it?
And goes boom.
If we could get something to explode inside their fortress, if it doesn't do the job, it causes a distraction, which allows us to slip in and do it.
Oh, yes, perhaps we could do it as some sort of giant horse.
That's silly, Aplos. No one would fall for that.
No one, absolutely no one would fall there. Where are we going to get scrap that looks like a horse?
We'll just drive slightly over the horizon so they can't see our. No.
Next, you're gonna suggest that we should be in the vehicle
with the explosives.
I have had plans that were worse, but I think I can think of one that's better. No, I don't think being brought back with the scrap and then though
Maggie, would you be willing to sacrifice that Devil Rider if it took out this Bitter Breath fellow?
You're talking about the bike
Yeah.
with bikes.
Or would an explosion absolutely bring it back beyond repair? It already needs repairs.
Isn't the bike Smiler's?
Yeah, it's Smiler's bike.
Oh, that's right. It's Smiler's. Well, I mean, if we take this place, then Smiler will probably have many more bikes than he did before.
Yeah, I think this is a small price to pay for.
What do you think, Smiler?
How would you like to be king, Smiler?
Oh, I think I'm flattered, that you think that I could do it, that I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm on board.
All right. So I think if I'm understanding the plan, we plant the bike out near them, have explosives in the bike, and we have it on a timer so when it goes back it goes boom, or do we want it to go boom when they first start working on the bike?
We'd want it on a delay, because if they send out a group of just hobgoblins to come retrieve it, then we kill some hobgoblins. I mean, we can do that without an explosive. We wanted to bring it into their compound because I'm assuming it will kill more of them. It will cause structural damage if it's big enough. And depending what's on in the fortress, it could cause a chain reaction of explosions. If there's a bunch of machinery in there, who knows what would happen if an explosion went off.
All right. I think that's a pretty good deal, although it will leave poor Smiley with quite the mess to clean up when he is establishing his kingdom.
A broken kingdom is better than no kingdom at all, I think.
It's fair.
Hey, if I'm like a king, like I get to have like servants and stuff deal with stuff like that, right? Like I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, talk to Aplos about that. He can tell you all about how it works to have people working for you.
Oh,
yes.
Right on.
More people working.
It's actually quite good. It's quite useful. You do take on several responsibilities for their own care and well-being, but it doesn't take up too much of your time.
Do you have to
take care of their care and well-being? Oh yes, that's very important.
These lots seem to be doing that themselves.
Oh yes. Most folks actually do. If you just leave them to their own devices, they'll often feed and clean themselves. Occasionally, you do have to remind them that their appearance is a bit lacking, and then they'll usually tidy themselves up.
I'm sure they appreciate that when you tell them.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, this plan is you're going to have this bike out somewhere noticeable in the vicinity of their watchtower. You're going to rig it up with explosives by means of Smiler.
Can we take some scrap from Fort Knucklebone and really dress this thing up to make it look like it's a little more fancier than what it is too?
Mad Maggie will let you take a certain amount.
Just want to Mad Max it up,
Sure.
Not it's all superficial. It's
you're hoping that they come out and they take this and they bring it into their complex.
Mm-hmm.
It blows up. What are you doing then? Assuming that's the chain of events that happens.
Depending on how big and bad the explosion is, if it ends up taking out our target because he just happened to be looking at it when it went off, great. If not, that's a distraction for us to sneak in somewhere else into the fortress and potentially catch him with his pants down.
Gotcha.
Does the fortress have a gate that could be overtaken by our vehicle? Our vehicle has a wrecking ball that's very good at knocking down gates. Is this fortress proof against such things, or not?
So Mad Maggie will describe it as essentially it's a old wrought iron, like infernal iron tower. It's got a single door, so your vehicle isn't going to be able to it doesn't have like a courtyard or anything you're going to be able to get through. You could maybe bring the vehicle right up alongside it and knock out the door, but that would be probably as far as it would get.
Yes, that would be quite good if we could get the door. If we could have the explosion damage as many as possible, be relatively sure that we'll be able to breach the door, and then battle is engaged.
We also might not need to go in the door. I can take someone 150. I can take Brynn or Evangeline, and then we have someone who can make us all fly. We could just take in by a window.
True. I can also make someone invisible. So
Ooh.
We can also send the imp for recon.
We could send the imp for recon, can make someone invisible, and I can look like whoever should be in there.
yeah, as long as Impsum isn't in the building when the explosion happens.
Oh yes, we want to protect Imsum. We would send Imsum in after the explosion for recon.
Who would
No,
put
before
Imsum
the
in an
explosion.
explosion?
Don't give me
Before-
that look, Impsum.
Before we but we should send Imsum in before we rig the explosion. Because then we can get a better sense on where they're going to bring this scrap once they have it. And also, if Imsum is able to describe things well, he can come back and describe one of the hobgoblins that you could then take your appearance of.
That could work. Can Imsum draw? He can like scribble it out. That'd be helpful,
Yes,
too.
Impsum's actually a fine artist.
Oh well, that's perfect. So we send Imsum in to get some information. Comes out, make our plan. Boom. Then we go in.
Sounds good.
All right.
Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So the first thing I'm going to want is I'm going to want a deception check from somebody to represent the setting up of the bomb.
Absolutely me. Absolutely.
Oh no! I'm also quite deceptive. If
The check already happened, so you dress up this bike, and
Of
it's
course
just,
I got a 2.
it's just a little too conspicuous, right? Like they patrol these lands, and like all of a sudden this like the gift box with the bow shows up. You know, you see you from a distance. You know, you spy this scene and you watch them like kind of drive past, and it seems like they look at it from a distance, and they move on. They don't pick it up.
Well, let's send the imp in for recon, and I guess we're charging the gates.
Okay. Impsum can be invisible, right?
Yes.
So I
I
have to
think
check
you're right.
one thing.
As long as they
These
don't have
demons have true sight.
true sight.
Yeah, that's the thing I have to see.
It's a horn devil, right? Oh boy.
Stip to the hobgoblins. If you see the horn devil, run.
It can see through darkness, but doesn't have a true sight. So
I don't think you
Um,
start getting true sights until you get
so-
to pit fiends.
So Impsum flies to this watchtower. This it's basically two levels, and then a rooftop that you can see some kind of defensive ballistas and things like that. Some defensive siege weaponry kinds of stuff on top, and he scouts it out. And there's easily 20 some hobgoblins. The boss himself is there, and so it looks like it would be quite the slog, and that's just who's there. They've got a number of vehicles that are parked outside. One is a scavenger. Looks like this one. This would be like probably the type of vehicle that you saw drive by where the bike was. There's like two of these hanging out outside. Also another vehicle that looks like this, which is the same. type of vehicle that you saw out when you were dealing with Fëanor. And there's also a Devil's Ride outside.
Okay, so just I guess Imsum comes back and relays all that to us.
Was there any information about the tower itself?
Yeah, two-story tower that does have windows that look like they're more or less arrow slits, so not the type of thing that you're probably going to be able to easily climb into. It does have the rooftop where the siege weaponry and such is.
How many
But this
stories
is
did you
this is
say?
it's
Two.
well two stories and then the rooftop.
We could just get onto the roof. I can reach the roof.
What if we set the bomb on the roof?
But remember it has weaponry on top that is manned. So
Oh, it is
At
made.
all
you-
times.
yeah,
What if you flew up? Someone can be invisible. Brynn, you can make people invisible, right? So you could make Lorem invisible. Lorem goes up, puts the bomb, flies off. Boom. Chaos. And then we go in.
Brynn, make an intelligence check.
I'm great at those.
Oh my god.
That sounds like a great idea. Did we take a short rest in between?
We took a long rest.
We took a long rest.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
you
did.
you wouldn't have any resources expended except anything that maybe you would use to do your scouting or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, so I can certainly cast both fly and invisibility if that is necessary.
All right.
Are they both concentration though?
They are, I guess.
I think that
Is that
Laura,
minor problem?
you can fly too, can't you?
No, I can use a spell to get from one point to another instantaneously, but depending on what kind of invisibility this is, I don't know if it'll work if I cast a spell.
This is the not so.
I see. So, because if you cast a spell, I thought it was just attacks that made invisibility go away, or is it any kind of?
It's any kind of magic.
Okay.
We could make you.
I'm willing to do what's necessary, but I don't think that. I mean, I could be Hobgoblin number, 32 or something. It would probably be our best bet.
Yes, I mean that gets you in, and then what?
Yeah. And then I try to plant a bomb somewhere. I feel like I can't probably get close enough to
I'm
Bitter Breath himself.
I'm thinking the bombs are probably not going to be a fantastic self-deployment sort of thing.
No, well, it would have to be a timer situation where I set it in.
Well, it's just that I really don't. I would feel uncomfortable letting you walk around with one.
That's fair.
I feel like, especially with someone who breathes fire, that carrying a bomb of any sort is fantastically bad idea.
It's probably.
If you want to get the magnitude of what you'd be walking into, go look at the combat tracker.
Let me see.
I felt like maybe you guys weren't quite getting what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 15 hobgoblins.
Maybe seeing it on the combat tracker will make it come to life.
Yeah.
Map only shows 4 hobgoblins.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I didn't have time to drag them all. I'm making up an encounter as we were going.
It's cool.
Yeah, we can take them.
Yeah, I can take 18
Or-
hobgoblins.
Or I could apply, oh, this is risky. This may not work. And if it doesn't work, we would have to position ourselves in a situation where we could recover. If we could take out one of their scavengers, which I assume has just a handful of crew, and we keep one alive, I could potentially command them to deliver a package to Bitter Breath.
That could be fair. I also have another point to just raise. How far are we from the Temple of the Sword? From where we are right now?
Not that far.
So
It's like totally
so
doable to walk there.
So okay, like I was gonna say, how many soul coins away are we? Can we just like ditch this mission, take the soul coin we already have, go and just like peace out, Mad Maggie, or walk?
Did we shake on this?
I mean, she did front us the coin, but
I feel, I mean, we could walk here and try and get the sword, and if we can get the sword, then we could just come back and wreck shop.
that's
Well-
fair.
So, as we're thinking about this, we could walk over and see the sword place, and that'll give us time to think, and we'll have a nice walk through a twisted hellscape. And we can continue considering options here. It feels like perhaps it might be helpful just to reduce their numbers if we just take out their scavengers once or twice.
Like a drive-by.
Well, yes, I mean, their scavenger went out and looked at the bike and decided not to. We could pursue that and take out, 6 to 8 of the hobgoblins, then that's 6 to 8 less in the fort.
Yes, but we also want to conserve our fuel. We were only given one soul coin to come here and back. We want to make the most of it. I wouldn't want us to waste all of that chasing down their, scavenging crews and then leave us stranded.
Oh, yes.
I just see them more. I'm just watching the hobgoblins just go on the map, and
I'm just I've got nothing to do, so I figured out.
so yeah, I just watching when another comes on, another, and they all have pack tactics, so we're all just like,
I feel our two best bets, since the whole bike thing didn't work out, is we attempt to get a package delivered, or we go walk over and check out the sword. And if we can somehow acquire this sword, that means we basically win.
Well, I mean, an angel had the sword and she lost. So
She lost against
she
an
lost.
entire army fighting her at once.
I'm not sure if you understand how armies are comprised, but a fortification full of soldiers is an army.
I don't think hobgoblins are as dangerous as spine devils. And a pit fiend.
Well, I mean, the pit fiend. But
So
you're no angels.
no, we are not. Although I could also take on the form of one if that could be of use. I could maybe just scare him a little bit, but
That would certainly shake up hell a bit. If Zariel were to appear in her old form with her sword.
it would, wouldn't it?
I feel like they would see past that.
Well, if it was the real sword, I don't know that they would notice the fake Zariel. But
Question, does your abilities, if someone can see past illusions, do you count as an illusion?
So it's not perfect. I mean, it's not an illusion necessarily, but if I'm pretending to be your wife and your wife and you interact with me for enough time, you'd probably figure out that I'm not your wife. But
These people don't know Angelic Zariel, though. They only know her as she is now. They've only seen crappy plays of her.
Yeah, so it's unlikely they can, challenge me, and if they're suspicious, let's say that I would be the advantageous party on any challenges, but they can call me out, and it can be detected.
I don't know. That doesn't sound.
Well, in
We
the
should
case,
at least go check out this sword.
yes, we can go check out the tower.
Let's see this. I say we look at the sword. We're close enough to the sword. This is not paying off. Let's just. Where do we have Lulu? Where's Lulu? We need to get Lulu involved. We're gonna go. If we're gonna get the sword. Is she still buzzing around?
Yeah. So you return back to Fort Knucklebone.
Oh, did Lulu not come with us? I would have taken Lulu with us. She could have just sat in the car while we were working.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much you told her about this. She, I mean, I don't know. I guess she would be with you, kind of like, why aren't we going and finding the sword? Why aren't we going and finding the sword?
We have
really
to get
like
some
that.
more money. Okay. You know what? We're going to find the sword right now. Right now.
Yay! She's just flapping her wings. Excited.
Hey! We're off to see the wizard.
So, taking to foot, you hit the road and follow Lulu's lead, and she will direct you to this hill that she has designated for you on your map. And looking at the time, this is probably a good stopping point so that we can pick back up fresh with this quest next time. So that's what we will do. So you got a lead on the sword. Lulu is taking you there now, and you've got this other thing that you could do at some point that I'll have to set up.
We're kind of obligated to do because we got fronted money.
We're obligated, but we're kind of putting a pin in it right now because we would not be successful. So we're making a.
If we can somehow find a soul coin on the ground, we can give it to Mad Maggie, and it's like the whole thing never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, she sees it that way.
Or I come in. Sorry.
Can you even wield a sword? Like a big sword?
So I can get bigger. I can't I have to stay bipedal, but I can grow, shrink. So probably could build a sword.
I meant skill-wise.
Oh, skill-wise? I thought you meant like literally. Is that like having like this giant sword? Will I be able to like? Yeah. So I'm real deceptive, real fucking deceptive. So as long as I don't have to actually like fight with it, I can probably make it seem real intimidating, and I've got great performance. So.
Just go with the whole like greatest swords person never unsheaths their blade kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having it, I think, would make the big.
Oh, I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Better than 20 hobgoblins.
So, I'm willing to go with you didn't necessarily have to use the soul coin that you got from her.
Oh.
To do. You didn't go that far.
Okay.
But how much did we have left in the tank?
Well, not much. So you couldn't take it much further than you already have.
And make it back.
Yeah. So if you want to return the soul coin and be absolved from this, I'll say that you can do that.
No, we're gonna need the soul coin.
Yeah, I was also down for the shenanigans. Like, we're gonna die at one point. Anytime will do.
Yeah, so we just can't do it now. We've got to
We
get
need
a little bit
inspiration to
stronger.
strike.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're taking this vehicle up that way then?
We'll take it to the halfway point, and then we'll make it the rest of the way by foot
Gotcha.
to conserve fuel.
Sounds good.
We'll keep that quest in our quest log until we level up a few more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's red right now.
Exactly, Brynn.
Hey,
Or
maybe,
until we're like, oh, we should have do this thing.
maybe the sword will trigger Lulu's memory, and she can go beast mode mammoth again and just knock the tower over.
Ooh.
That would be ideal.
I kind of want to see beast mode Lulu just like Hulk out and do this. So.
Very good. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us here tonight as we play Descent into Avernus. We play this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. So if you're having fun with us, you can check us out. This one's pretty transparent. Just show up on Wednesdays and we're here. Easy schedule. So the next time that we are live will be on Friday night at 7 p.m. We will be playing Isle of Dread as we are about to wrap up the community campaign, the Isle of Dread book that we've been playing with our Patreon supporters and our Twitch subscribers. So if you want to check it out, see what it's like to be a part of that, come see us on Friday. Also, be sure to join our Discord, where we hang out in between our broadcasts and are always chatting with all the people from all the different streams and games that we run. So we'd love to have you as a part of our community. So check that out. Let's see. I think that's all I've got. So I'm going to take us offline. Thanks, everyone. We will see you all soon.